Hello everyone, I'm meteorologist Charlie Ironmonger. Thank you so much for joining me today for your 3 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. Now, just before we get started, do want to highlight that we have been experiencing some internet issues. So if we do have any breakups with our stream or our signal, I do want to apologize ahead of time. Now, let's talk about some of the news we've been following in the newsroom, and that we've actually got some good news coming out of the DMV. First time I've been able to say that in a while. The Division of Motor Vehicles announced 2 weeks ago that drivers without a real ID license can now renew online for a second consecutive time, an effort made to reduce in-person visits and wait times. Prior, drivers were required to renew in person if they had renewed online last time. Now, DMV Commissioner Paul Tynes said, quote, "This is a game changer for North Carolinians who value convenience and efficiency, and for the DMV. By renewing online, customers are not only saving time, but also helping us prioritize in-person services for those who truly need them," end quote. Now, the DMV says more upgrades are to come, including online license advancement for team drivers in 2 weeks and online state ID renewal by the end of 2025. Again, this all comes after over 18,000 North Carolinians have renewed their licenses online for a second time after Governor Josh Stein signed Senate Bill 245 into law last month. And now we want to turn our attention to, again, the ceasefire between Israel and Hamas and the prisoner, really hostage remains exchange between the two groups. NBC's Matt Bradley has more from Tel Aviv.
Well, after 10 days of that ceasefire being in place in the Gaza Strip, now it looks shakier than ever. It is really facing its biggest challenge after that hard-won negotiations by the Trump administration to impose peace on the Gaza Strip, free those remaining 20 living hostages, and about 2,000 Palestinian prisoners and detainees. Now, this exchange of fire, 5 different incidents over the past 24 hours, has really shaken confidence that this ceasefire will actually proceed from its first phase to its second phase. And really, all of these shooting incidents where we've seen Israelis firing at Palestinians who the Israelis say have breached the so-called yellow line to which the Israelis had withdrawn as part of Donald Trump's 20-point peace plan. As part of this ceasefire deal, they said that 2 Israeli soldiers had been killed in the southern Gazan city of Rafah. But amazingly, both sides have said they are going to continue to observe this ceasefire. And the Israelis have said that they're going to continue to allow aid into the Gaza Strip through the Kerem Shalom crossing and other crossings. So it looks as though, despite this real rattling of this ceasefire, that it looks as though we're actually going to see it continue. And this is obviously of major concern to the United States and the Trump administration, who really took the lead in negotiating this. But it's not the only problem that the ceasefire is facing. The Israelis are complaining that 16 bodies of the 28 hostages who had been slain still remain in the Gaza Strip. Now, Israeli media is reporting that 1 body could be coming out again tonight, but this has also caused lots of tension between the Israelis and Hamas. The Israelis saying that these are clear violations of the ceasefire, but now we're seeing Donald Trump's main envoys, his son-in-law, Jared Kushner, and Steve Witkoff, are in Israel, and actually it sounds as though they're going to be meeting with some family members of those remaining slain hostages. These negotiations are going to be crucial, not just to resolving what's happened over the last 24 hours, but to bringing this ceasefire to its second phase and maybe a more permanent peace. Matt Bradley, NBC News, Tel Aviv.
Well, thank you very much, Matt, for that report. We now turn to your weather forecast, looking like another very sunny week this week. Of course, last week we kind of ended up with the sunshine at the very tail end of things. This week, we're starting out with sunshine. We're going to be finishing with some sunshine. Here's a look at what we've got outside through our Belhaven cam. Again, sunny conditions across eastern North Carolina. Not a cloud in the sky right now, but we are still looking at a bit of a breeze coming out of the northwest. That is keeping our air temperatures capped right around the 70-degree mark. Some of us going to remain in the upper 60s. Others, again, have crossed over to 70, 71 degrees. But overall, we're really not looking at the same sort of heat we had yesterday, which, for those of you keeping track, we're about 5 to 10 degrees warmer across eastern North Carolina than where we are right now. Of course, we will be back up into the don't want to say the upper 70s. We'll certainly see the mid 70s coming up for tomorrow thanks to a wind shift that's going to be occurring later on tonight. Now, currently winds coming out of the northwest at about a 6 to 12 mile per hour clip. Later on this evening, those winds are going to be going calm. And as that happens, skies will be clear, and that will allow our air temperatures to fall a little bit faster than they would if we had a little bit more cloud cover or if we had a little bit more of a breeze. But that wind will pick up again tomorrow out of the southwest instead of the northwest. And those southwesterly winds, combined with the sunny skies we'll have through the entirety of the day, will help push our afternoon air temperatures back into the mid 70s. It's going to feel comfortable out there coming up for tomorrow, but coming up over the following several days, we're going to be seeing some pretty chilly overnight lows. Big reason why is, well, as we head through tomorrow, high pressure system is going to be working its way off the coast, and it's going to slowly fade as it does so. That will set up another cold front, a dry cold front rolling across eastern North Carolina coming up late Tuesday night into early Wednesday morning. Not anticipating any sort of cloud cover or even rain chances with that frontal boundary, but it will reinforce cooler air back into eastern North Carolina for the tail end of the week. That will keep your overnight lows pretty chilly as we approach the upcoming weekend. We'll get to that coming up in just a few moments, but do want to highlight what we are tracking in the tropics, and that is an area of concern in the Caribbean. Right now, this does not look like a system that's going to hold any sort of a threat towards eastern North Carolina, but over the next 48 hours, has a high chance of tropical development. 70% chance to put a number to it. Over the next 7 days, that goes up to a 90% chance. Now, next name up on the list is Melissa, and most model data have this system again continuing to work its way westward across the Caribbean Sea, staying possibly just south of Jamaica, perhaps impacting Nicaragua and Honduras as we head towards the start of next weekend. But for right now, here's a look at your full 8-day forecast. Slight chance of rain returns to the east really Sunday, more so Monday and Tuesday of next week. So over the next 5 days, it is going to be sunny and mild. Air temperatures mid 70s tomorrow and Wednesday, low 70s to upper 60s for Thursday, Friday, as well as Saturday. But those overnight lows coming up for your Thursday morning, Friday morning, and Saturday morning are going to be chilly. Low 40s. That means some inland areas closer to I-95 could absolutely end up in the upper 30s. If you've got kids that stand outside ready for the bus in the morning, make sure that they have a jacket before heading out the door. And that's all we have time for today's 3 p.m. news and weather update from the First Alert Desk. I want to thank you all so much for joining me. We'll be back with more news and weather right here on the First Alert Desk coming up at the top of the hour. Until then, have a wonderful rest of your Monday.